We got a 6-game slate in the NHL tonight. Here to talk about it, who else but our resident Canadian and also just a really smart guy when it comes to hockey betting talk and DFS. Geoff Ulrich, how are you, man?
Yeah, a gem. I'm a 10 out of 10, Kauf, for sure.
I've always said that. We're going to have you graded. It'll be the best. Let's take a look at what we got tonight here. And on this 6-gamer, you have 4 skaters that are priced at $8K or above. Some of the names we're used to talking about, obviously. There's Auston Matthews, Nate McKinnon, Max Pacioretty. You can mix Mitch Marner in there as well. Who stands out to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's the usual suspects, especially for if you've been playing a lot of late slates. Obviously, we're familiar with Max Pacioretty. He's a high volume shots on goal guy. He's the cheapest of the bunch, and I wouldn't fault anyone for going up there, but I just think you look at this matchup for Auston Matthews going up against the Jets. They're a bottom 8 teams in terms of shots allowed. You look back, the last series that the Jets and the Leafs play, Matthews had 3 goals. He was busy all night with his shots there, hit the shots on goal bonus. I just feel like with Matthews, you have such a good shot of getting the 5 shots on goal, the DraftKings bonus, and potentially getting a goal as well. I just don't necessarily see the upside there, especially with McKinnon going up against Arizona. Colorado's been really hot, but Arizona a bit better defensive team than they've been facing lately. Pacioretty against the Kings, not a bad play again, decent value. But I think for me in this matchup, I just pay up for Matthews. Again, really good shot of a ceiling night here.
I'm not sure this is a question I've ever asked you before, and I'm excited. I like it. Is there an entire line that you are tempted to stack in just maybe a softer matchup?
Yeah, well, and again, there are quite a few studs on this 6-game slate here, right? I mean, it's not the biggest slate, but we have some people we really want to pay up for. I mean, you could even make a case for paying up for Matthews and Nathan McKinnon here. So if you want to do that, you got to target some second lines, like some guys who just bring a little bit better value. And look, the Flyers going up against the Sabres here. I mean, the Flyers aren't good either, but the Sabres are absolutely just horrendous, right? So I think their second line here, looking at the salaries, they're offering us pretty good value. Kevin Hayes, Claude Giroux, Joel Farabee. I mean, these guys aren't super expensive. All of them see power play time. Giroux especially still on the PP1 for them. So, obviously coming off a 4-3 overtime, kind of a thriller game against the Sabres where they almost blew it. They almost became the first win for the Sabres since, last Christmas. But I just think you're getting good value on this line. I mean, Kevin Hayes is a guy who gets a lot of shots on goal. He's only 5,500. Giroux's been playing good, 4 shots on goal against the Sabres. And the Sabres just do everything poor from a defensive perspective. So they're obviously great targets for your forwards. I think the top 2 lines for the Flyers obviously have a lot of upside. Let's just go with the cheaper option. That'll let you stack some of those studs. So Kevin Hayes and Claude Giroux especially, I want to target that line tonight.
Let's keep talking value. Maybe hit the bargain bin like I do when I'm DVD shopping for all these gems behind me here. Who is the really cheap play that stands out to you tonight?
Yeah, those are more like a 4, Kaufman, your DVD collection. But let's keep targeting this game and even going to the other side because, look, the Flyers really aren't that much better than the Sabres this year. Maybe they have more talent, but they certainly haven't played that way. A couple blowouts, a loss to New Jersey in their last 6 games. They allowed the Sabres to score 3 goals. I mean, that alone is just like an indictment, right? So Victor Olofsson at 3,800. I mean, this is a player who obviously he's stuck on a really bad offense, but he's got 21 points in 34 games. He's been pretty busy with his shot of late too. Hit the shots on goal bonus against Philly. Philly doesn't have good special teams at all. I mean, this is a pretty high volume shots on goal player for under 4K. In a typical matchup, if we were going up against say Washington or just a good team here for the Sabres, I probably wouldn't be recommending a Sabre, but it's Philly. Their defensive, stats and analytics and stuff really aren't that much better than the Sabres. I like Olofsson at 3,800 here. I kind of like that second line they put together with him and Reinhart. So for me, he's a target. I think you could even go to the other side of that game though. Jakub Voracek at 4K, getting power play exposure. It's just 2 soft defenses. And there are some decent not min price, but value forwards you could target in this game. I definitely like Olsen, but Voracek is in play too.
Important detail to note is we chat right now, which is actually well before lock. We don't have any goalies that are locked in for their lineups right now for their respective teams. Is there a specific matchup you want to target or maybe a projected goaltender that you expect that you like tonight?
I mean, I think you got to look kind of what Robin Leonard's been doing lately. Back from injury. He's had some games under his belt now. He's really just performing well. I mean, Robin Leonard gets in these kind of these zones, I mean, he can hold it for a bit. So, save percentages, 0.92 or better in each of his last 3 games, going up against, a Kings squad who I think they're a little bit underrated, but they don't really have a lot of great finishers. And they're really a good matchup for opposing goalies, especially good goalies, because they do get a few shots on goal every night. They're not like in the bottom five. So they can get busy with their shots, but they're not really good finishers, which is really what you want when you're trying to pick a goalie on DraftKings. So Leonard's in a spot where he could see 30 plus shots, definitely has a little bit upside there, but realistically, he's just playing well. And Vegas are huge favorites here, minus 225 right now on the DraftKings Sportsbook. The Vegas Golden Knights are as home favorites on the money line. So it's a really good spot for Leonard to pick up that win. And he's just playing really well. He'd definitely be my top choice. If you want someone a little bit cheaper, should be a good bounce back spot for Thatcher Demko, assuming he gets a start. He's had a couple poor starts, but going up against the Flames offense just not playing well at all right now. So Demko for GPPs if you need a little bit of a cheaper option.
You mentioned the DK Sportsbook. Let's go there. Anyone on the puck line that you like tonight?
Yeah, the puck line is interesting. I mean, you could definitely make a case for, like the Avalanche are playing so well, going up against still a third string goalie, but I like going to the Minnesota Wild here. I mean, the Sharks obviously pulling out the first game of this series. Minnesota's been a little bit lax defensively, which is a little bit worrisome, but I'm just not sure that the Sharks have the guns here to take out two wins in a row. And realistically, like the Wild are still getting good goaltending. The Sharks are still the Sharks in terms of their goaltending. Martin Jones, Devin Dubnyk, whoever starts, they can be really hot and cold. And when they get cold here, the goals can just flow. So I don't really expect that the Wild are necessarily going to drop two in a row to the Sharks. And at plus 160 on the puck line, you're looking at them, obviously. They are on the road here, which is a little bit of a knock against them, but still, those are pretty big odds. I mean, these are pretty big discrepancy in terms of these teams, especially in things like expected goal rate, where Minnesota is, top 10, San Jose is pretty much bottom 10, and special teams and shots against and scoring chances. So I feel like Minnesota here, just from looking at the odds, they're going to be the best value out there if you're looking at the puck line tonight.
Is there a game total that stands out to you, be it over or under?
There's a couple, and there's a couple overs I actually like. The unders have been really hitting lately in the NHL, but I think this is a good spot maybe to target a couple overs. My favorite is going to be the Arizona-Colorado game. Colorado coming in, they've scored 5 or more goals in 7 of their last 8 games. This offense is finally taking flight. Those offensive creative defensemen that they've got back there, Taves, Gerard and Maker. I mean, those guys are just finally starting to connect, and it's really helping Nate McKinnon. So all things considered, Arizona's a pretty good defensive team, but they're starting Aiden Hill in net, most likely a third stringer, maybe even a fourth stringer. Colorado could hit this on their own tonight. And the other side of this is the Coyotes offense has actually been pretty good. You got Phil Kessel playing pretty good. So 5.5 to hit the over. Yeah, I think this total is taking a little bit too much history into account. I think this should be closer to a 6. So I like taking the over with Arizona, Colorado, but I also don't mind the over in that Philly Sabres game. Again, 2 bad defenses, can't stop anything. I'll rank them as second behind the Avs and the Avs and the Coyotes, excuse me. But I like the overs in both those games.
Moose, the entire DK Sportsbook is your oyster for this 6-game slate in the NHL tonight. What is your favorite bet?
All right. Nobody beats the Buffalo Sabres however many times in a row now. Let's go with the Sabres on the money line. Plus 170. They should have won that last game against Philly. Like I said, Philly is not playing well at all right now. They've got horrendous goaltending too. I just feel like if the Sabres are ever going to grab a win, this is it. They're at home. You're still getting pretty good odds here at plus 170. So I like them. I like going to the money line with Buffalo here for a one night little, stop of the law, or, putting the tourniquet on the losses for one night. I also like Victor Olofsson if you're looking for a player prop. Let's go big or go home. Victor Olofsson to score a goal, plus 210 on the DraftKings Sportsbook as well. Like I said, he's playing a little bit better. I like the way they've mixed those lines up, and he's got a great opponent. So let's just go big. Let's go with the Sabres to win and Olofsson to score a goal.
Go big or go home. Geoff Ulrich, thanks so much.
Okay, thanks.